Enter the Dragon is regarded by many as the finest martial arts film ever made. I'm usually more partial to the oeuvre of the Lee-alikes, Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee, Bruce Tai, and so on and so forth. Insert Lee-alike here. But I thought it was high time that I took a look at their inspiration here on the channel, the little dragon himself, Bruce Lee. So the premise of this one is that we have an evil human trafficker involved in all kinds of shady business on a remote island just beyond the jurisdiction of international law. No, not that shady, evil shady human trafficker. This evil shady human trafficker, a guy called Han. So said shady human trafficker holds a tournament to recruit a fresh crop of badasses with hands and feet registered as lethal weapons to provide muscle for his operation on this island. So Bruce is recruited by MI5 or Interpol or something to act as a spy and find out what's going on Epstein's Island. I mean Han's Island. But he isn't going it alone, fortunately. Oh no. He has a couple of friends to help him. So we have an eclectic assortment of martial arts masters, including Playboy John Saxon, activist Jim Kelly, who was an activist before it was cool, and some guy who's supposed to be from New Zealand or something. So New Zealand was a preferred exotic locale in the 70s when you wanted to establish an international flavour for your movie, just like the WWF did with the Bushwhackers, I guess. And the rest of the movie's sort of like a James Bond meets Mortal Kombat affair. Quite a yin and yang of the two. In fact, Enter the Dragon, the premise and plot would be imitated for decades by everything from video games like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 2 to movies like Bloodsport, and of course various film adaptations of Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter as well. Enter the Dragon's highly influential, I guess you'd say, and with good reason. So it was an international smash at the time and single-handedly ushered martial arts cinema into the mainstream. The Hong Kong locations are both breathtaking and exotic, and the sentimental part of me really likes the scenes in the Hong Kong harbours, which really haven't changed all that much if you've had the privilege to go there. The theme music to this one has to be one of the most memorable and badass themes in motion picture history. It's a bit of an earworm, I guess you'd say, that you'll have in your head for days once you hear it. And I reckon Enter the Dragon would make for an awesome double bill with either Bloodsport, Mortal Kombat, or even that awful Street Fighter movie with Kylie Minogue. And I reckon something nice to enjoy with this one would be one of the more traditional Hong Kong dishes. Because unlike Jim Kelly, I did get quite hungry during the banquet scene in this one, whereas he had trouble keeping anything down. I reckon some nice dumplings or pork buns with some baijiu if you can find some, or some soju if you can't, or worst case still sake if you can't find any soju. That'd go really nicely with this one. And the social commentary to be had in Enter the Dragon's quite interesting. So the plot as a kid used to seem fantastic, absurd, implausible before we learned the ways of the world, until we all found out about the shenanigans of a certain disgraced financier and his influential mates, which kind of changed the worldview for all of us. And in 2025, Enter the Dragon teaches us that there are certain echelons of society who are above the law, unfortunately. If anything, Han in this movie is a bit of an amateur, so he has the honeypot style operation down pat, but he doesn't seem to have the dirt on the right people yet. Anyway, that is Enter the Dragon, full of social commentary and very interesting in the wake of the whole Epstein saga and the Epstein didn't kill himself saga. So it really does follow the same plot structure. It'd be great to see a remake of this one with a disgraced financier honeypotting a bunch of tech overlords and politicians, and maybe having a UFC fighter jump on board a junk to go across for a tournament. Pick your current UFC champion or former UFC champion. Maybe someone like Conor McGregor might make a good casting choice to go and tease apart the high strangeness of Little St James Island and a bizarre financier who doesn't seem to know much about finance, but does seem to know how to record people in compromising positions. So that'd be pretty cool if they did decide to remake Enter the Dragon in an accurate 2025 format. But unfortunately, I guess most of Hollywood are already compromised by unfortunate footage and proclivities and things like that. So we won't see that interpretation of Enter the Dragon anytime soon, I don't think. We'll just not mention that for now. But as I said, that is Enter the Dragon. Quite a fun movie, even more fun if you have a cynical sense of humour and you've been baffled or perplexed at the events of recent years and all of these shenanigans going on. You'll really enjoy it, and really it'll really add a new dimension to the story with 2025 hindsight. So if this is your first time on the channel, I hope you're enjoying the content. I normally try and upload about once a week or a bit more, depending on time. And if you're returning to the channel and you're enjoying what you're seeing, please like, share and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time.